Welcome to the Robertson County High School Football Show with your hosts, Robertson County Connection sports reporter David Wilson and Main Street Clarksville sports editor Brady McAtamney. The Robertson County High School Football Show is brought to you by Springfield Carpet One. Whether you are in need of new hardwood, luxury vinyl, tile, carpet, or laminate, Springfield Carpet One has everything you need for your next flooring project. Thomas Drugs. Since the early 1900s, Thomas Drugs has served the Robertson community for all of their prescription needs. Stop by and see their friendly staff and grab you a sundae at their ice cream parlor today. Old Hickory Credit Union. Whether you need to open a checking account or interested in taking out a loan or mortgage, Old Hickory Credit Union can help you every step of the way. Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment. Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment is your one-stop shop for all of your outdoor needs. Select Physical Therapy in Springfield. Select Physical Therapy provides inpatient and outpatient rehabilitation services in Robertson County. And the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Remember, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Now, here are David Wilson and Brady McAtamney.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome into the Robertson County Football Show. I'm your sports reporter, David Wilson of the Robertson County Connection, joined as always by Main Street Clarksville sports editor Brady McAtamney. We will forget the Lions shirt that he is wearing. As an avid Green Bay Packers fan, we have a showdown on Thursday Night Football, so looking forward to that. But Brady, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, David. You and I are both celebrating Victory Monday this week. Lions beat the Falcons. Packers beat the Saints in comeback fashion, so doing great.
Yeah, we just got to get some of those Packers guys healthy. No Christian Watson, no Aaron Jones, no Jay Alexander. So hopefully they can get right for Thursday Night Football. But let's talk about some high school football. That's what they came to see here on this show. Brady, where do you want to start?
Yeah, let's start as always with the Yellow Jackets. Springfield and Dustin Wilson came away with a 35-0 win over Portland on Friday. As always, our Robertson County High School football segment is brought to you by Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment in Springfield. They are a one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Stop by and see their inventory or give them a call at 615-384-7660. Springfield's shutout win boosted their chances of making the TSSAA playoffs. How were the Yellow Jackets able to get it done against Portland?
Yeah, Brady, I don't want to understate how important this win was for Dustin Wilson's Yellow Jackets. They have claimed now for the interim term the fourth place seeding in that region standings that features Henry County, that features talented Beach and a talented Hendersonville team. So they were on the outside looking in, coming into this week's matchup with Portland and being able to pick up the road win. They put themselves in playoff position for now. Now they have to continue that moving forward in upcoming weeks, particularly with the region matchup coming up against Hendersonville and Hunters Lane later on in the year. But this past Friday night, it was Clarence Cobbins. He was Main Street Media's Player of the Week award winner in Week 4 for his performance against Station Camp, and he continued his ability this past weekend at Portland in all three phases on both sides of the football. He had 3 catches for 73 yards and 2 touchdowns through the air on the receiving end. He also had 5 carries for 29 yards and a touchdown run on the ground, and then being able to do it on special teams as well. Returned 2 kicks for 92 yards, and then also being able to get 2 tackles on the defensive end. He's a star. He's a Swiss Army knife for Dustin Wilson. They're able to use him in so many different roles and fashions, and he's performed really well in their wins. And so that's something that we'll want to continue to see out of him. Just in the losses, he hasn't quite been there. Maybe it's those teams zeroing in and focusing in as him as being the asset for that Yellow Jackets team, but he was phenomenal this past Friday night. Like I said, 3 total touchdowns in their win over the Portland Panthers to help put Springfield in playoff position. Quarterback Parker Betts was 7 of 9 passing for 115 yards and 2 touchdown passes to Cobbins. He did have an interception, but the Yellow Jackets really able to control things on the defensive side of the ball, holding Portland under 100 yards in this game. So Springfield, like I said, we never doubt them, and they're so well coached by Dustin Wilson and his entire staff. They're consistently churning out contenders. Maybe they are a little down this year just for how much they lost from the senior class last year. But this team, don't be surprised if they make the TSSAA playoffs. I think they will. And then you can never count them out with Dustin Wilson and that group just finding ways to win football games.
Yeah, moving right along from a team that has got themselves in a potential playoff position to one that's on the outside looking in. The Greenbrier Bobcats lost to White House 30-10 last week. Our Greenbrier High School football segment is brought to you by Old Hickory Credit Union. Whether you need to open a checking account or are interested in taking out a loan or mortgage, Old Hickory Credit Union can help you every step of the way. Visit their branch in Greenbrier or give them a call at 615-847-403. So like I said, Greenbrier finds themselves on the outside of the Region 5 for a playoff picture. Can the Bobcats turn things around this season?
Yeah, Brady, we mentioned this last week, how I was hitting the panic button. I was really concerned about Greenbrier, just the health of their team moving forward. This past weekend, they lost to White House by a final score of 30-10. Quarterback Nolan Carson did not play in that game, battling an injury that he suffered against Station Camp a few weeks ago. Travaris Flood, the two-way star for Greenbrier, who will make his commitment in a few days to his college of choice. So we'll have you monitored for that. Played quarterback for the Bobcats and had over 200 all-purpose yards this past week, but they just couldn't get things done against a really talented White House defense that we'll mention a little later on. But when I look at the Region 5-4A standings, you got Pearl Cone, Marshall County, White House, and Creekwood in those top four positions. And when Greenbrier faces Pearl Cone, that's going to be a really tough task for the Bobcats to pick up a win there. They already lost to Marshall County, and they already lost to White House. And then Creekwood's going to be a tough foe as well. So I still see Greenbrier on the outside looking in. I don't know if they're going to be able to claim a playoff spot this year. And, that's really disappointing considering all the talent that they have on their team. Seniors in Carson and Flood, you thought heading into this year that they could be able to replicate the performance last year and make a playoff push. But with Pearl Cone and Marshall County being so strong at the top, and then White House claiming a victory over them, claiming that eventual maybe tiebreaker if White House stumbles along the stretch, I just find it difficult for Greenbrier to make the playoffs, definitely considering that we suited I know the status of Nolan Carson moving forward.
Moving right along here, the White House Heritage Patriots got a win over Sycamore 20-6 on Friday. Our White House Heritage High School football segment is brought to you by Springfield Carpet One in Springfield. Whether you are in need of new hardwood, luxury vinyl, tile, carpet, or laminate, Springfield Carpet One has everything you need for your next flooring project. Stop by their showroom or give them a call at 615-382-7190. The Patriots picked up their first road win of the season on Friday and sit at 2-0 in Region 6 3A. Can Scott Murray win a regional championship in his first season at Heritage?
It's very possible, Brady. They have not played well, and we mentioned that last week in our show. They had not played well on the road this year. They had two road games prior to their matchup at Sycamore and Pleasant View last Friday night. They lost to Westmoreland on the road. Westmoreland beat them up pretty good in the running game, had 4 rushing touchdowns, maybe 5 rushing touchdowns. I'll have to check that in that matchup. And then last 2 weeks ago, facing against Forest, got beat up on the road as well. Forest really dominated that matchup that I considered, a game that White House Heritage could potentially win if they played well. So this was really important for them moving forward to just get that monkey off their back, get that first road win, and it was an important one as well, it being a region win. They moved to 2-0 in the region standings and they're now tied for first place with Fairview. And so can they win the region championship? It's possible. It's going to come down to that last matchup of the year for the Patriots, a road game at Fairview. So it's going to be a really tough, hostile environment. It's going to be late in the year. It's going to be cold. So can Scott Murray's Patriots do it? Yes. It's still to be determined if they can do it. Just looking forward to that last matchup of the year. This past week against Sycamore, it was kind of muddy earlier. Casey Patrick had the great coverage out there in Pleasant View, but Xavier Murray and the Patriots really turned it on late. Murray was 10 of 11 passing for 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, hooking up with his favorite go-to target, Eric Lopez, who had 4 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown. And then Adrian Bonilla came back this week. Last week we mentioned that he sat out the game versus Forest, which was a non-region game, due to a coach's decision. He had drawn some unsportsmanlike penalties, some celebration penalties after scoring touchdowns. And their first region win against Cheatham County earlier in this year, Scott Murray disciplined his running back. Coach's decision not playing him on the road at Forest. He came back this week and rushed for over 100 yards and had a touchdown. So they needed him back this week, and he delivered for his team. So White House Heritage is looking good. They have a chance to win a region championship in Scott Murray's first year after going 1-9 last year. So remarkable turnaround for the Patriots this year. And so they're looking forward to continue that this week when they host Greenbrier, and we will discuss that matchup a little later on.
David, from one region championship contender to another, East Robertson took their first loss of the season against Smith County, 14-7. Our East Robertson High School football segment is brought to you by Thomas Drugs in Cross Plains. Since the early 1900s, Thomas Drugs has served the Robertson County community for all of their prescription needs. Stop by and see their friendly staff and grab you a sundae at their ice cream parlor today. David, how will the Indians respond moving forward after taking their first loss?
Yeah, Brady, we discussed this one before we hopped on camera. I mentioned to you that I'm a really big Notre Dame fan, and last weekend's loss to Ohio State was really crushing for Notre Dame, considering that, for the most part of the game, they were, to some, the better team in the matchup and just couldn't find a way in those late, meaningful plays to win the football game. And to me, when I was looking back, and I was there for Friday night's game at Cross Plains, the MyTV 30 game of the week between Smith County and East Robertson, it reminded me very similar to the feel and the atmosphere of what it was like in South Bend, Indiana on Saturday night. East Robertson was in this football game and had a chance to win. The 14-7 score just shows you how tight it was late, and the go-ahead touchdown was with 1 minute and 30-something seconds left in the fourth quarter when Smith County's quarterback, Riley Martin, who's a freshman, hooked up with Key Harris to put the Owls ahead and give them the eventual game-winning touchdown. But East Robertson, like Notre Dame in my mind, shot themselves in the foot in this game. They had 16 penalties that I counted for over 160 yards that really set them back. And, they had no trouble moving the ball into Owls territory, but it seems like they really got stymied and bogged down and had key penalties that pushed them out of scoring range and just killed the momentum of several drives. Then when you have 6 turnovers, including turnovers on downs, that's the killer. 16 penalties and 6 turnovers. You're not going to win a lot of football games. And I guess the positive moving forward for East Robertson is you committed 6 turnovers, you had 16 penalties, and you were tied late in this game with a chance to take it to overtime and potentially win. So it just shows you that they have the talent and the ability to do it. They just have to put performances together and not hurt East Robertson. East Robertson wins this game if they don't beat themselves. So it reminded me of that Notre Dame game. Maybe I'm still grieving over it, but I mentioned that game as well because Notre Dame is going to have to bounce back this week against a really talented Duke team on the road, and it's so similar that East Robertson has to go on the road this week and bounce back against a Westmoreland team that's talented and that can run the football and likes to punch you in the mouth. So East Robertson, where is their mind at heading into this week's matchup at Westmoreland? I will break it down a little bit later on, but are we going to get an angry East Robertson team led by head coach Chase Brooks? Or are we going to get a team that's still sulking its wounds and licking their wounds, moving forward into this week's matchup? So I'm interested to see, and this is really a challenge for East Robertson moving forward. This team has aspirations of competing for a championship in Chattanooga, has all the talent in the world to do it. That loss last week against Smith County could be a marker that we mentioned later on in the year, is that it really propelled them to a state championship run, or really caused the downfall of this East Robertson team. I think they're too talented not to bounce back. Chase Brooks mentioned that turnovers and penalties were the reason why we lost this game. So he was proud of the way their defense performed. I'm not going to give them enough credit. They performed fantastic in that game against Smith County. Just the offense couldn't make enough plays and stop hurting itself to pick up the win over the Owls. So give Smith County credit, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how East Robertson bounce back this week.
Chase Brooks and Marcus Thornton in similar seats this week. We'll take our first break of the show. When we come back, we're going to talk about Joe Burns and White House.
At Old Hickory Credit Union, we're member-owned, not-for-profit, and eager to serve our Robertson County community. Since 1934, we have strived to provide our members with a safe, reliable place to take care of all their financial needs. From checking accounts to loans to mortgages, we're here to help. Credit unions have to constantly adapt to meet the needs of an ever-changing market. However, one constant will always remain, and that is the service we provide to our members. Stop by our Greenbrier branch today.
If you're in need of new flooring, look no further than Springfield Carpet One, Floor and Home. We have a showroom filled with a wide range of flooring options, including hardwood, luxury vinyl, carpet, laminate, and tile. Our expert team is here to provide advice and guidance to help you find the right flooring for your needs. With special financing available, you can buy now and pay over time. Stop by our showroom today or visit our website at carpet1springfield.com.
Thomas Drugs, serving our community since the early 1900s. We're a full-service drugstore and soda fountain located in a building on Main Street that is on the National Register of Historic Places. We have a staff of pharmacists with over 70 years of experience, and we are committed to offering the best care and service to our community. We're now offering healthcare testing and treatment with positive results, a one-stop shop. Stop by our pharmacy today or visit our website at thomasdrugs.net.
He shoots, and he scores!
Welcome back to the Robertson County Sports Show. I'm Brady McTamney, sports editor at Main Street Clarksville. That is David Wilson. He is your sports reporter for the Robertson County Connection. I realize I said Marcus Thornton. That's an NBA player. It's Marcus Freeman, who is the head coach at Notre Dame. So put that on my my highlight reel for maybe a blooper reel if we can maybe get one at the end of the season. I think that'd be pretty funny. Anyway. More high school football coming at you here. David, we're going to talk about the Joe Burns Red Devils, who came away with a 20-13 loss against Cheatham County. Our Joe Burns High School football segment is brought to you by Select Physical Therapy in Springfield. Select Physical Therapy provides inpatient and outpatient rehabilitation services in Robertson County. Give them a call today at 615-384-3836. David, do the Red Devils need to panic after this tough homecoming loss?
Yeah, yes and no. I'll go 50-50, and I'll split the fence on the Red Devils in their first year head coach out there in Cedar Hill and Justin Robinson. You know, coming into this week's matchup with Cheatham County, it would have been a tough 3-game stretch for the Red Devils, going on the road to face East Robertson, Whitwell, and Gordonsville at home. Those are really 3 tough games that the Red Devils dropped, considerably being outscored by their opponents. But Justin Robinson was really looking forward to getting home this week to the comforts of Cedar Hill and his home field and facing a Cheatham County team that, you know, Joe Burns could compete with and had the potential to pull out a victory against them. He was just really disappointed in talking to him after the game, just with the penalties and the kind of the lack of focus on that Joe Burns team. You know, Amari Cotton was responsible for both of their touchdowns. But, you know, he just mentioned that they couldn't really block anybody on both sides of the football last Friday night. So I know he was really disappointed in the results of that game. But let's remember this region, only 4 teams in this region, small classification and 1A football. So Joe Burns will make the playoffs. It's just trying to get them to hit their stride and hit their peak at the right moment. You know, they have only played 1 region game so far this year. As I mentioned, a loss to Gordonsville earlier on in the year. They get back into region play this week, traveling on the road to face Clay County, who was a state runner-up in Class A last year. So we'll break down that matchup a little later on. But it's just getting this team to focus, not shoot itself in the foot, kind of like what East Robertson did this past week. Joe Burns has the pieces in place in certain skill positions to really compete and, you know, get better as the season moves along. You know, they got a quarterback in Amari Cotton. We've mentioned him time and time again on this show. A junior, but in his first year starting for Joe Burns, replacing quarterback Taylor Head, who's now at Trevecca playing baseball. So Joe Burns has Amari Cotton at the quarterback position. He has all the talent in the world, and he's improved over the last couple of weeks. I saw him with my own eyes against East Robertson. The end of the result on the scoreboard may not show, but Amari Cotton showed flashes of his playmaking ability in that game, and he's improved over the course of the season. But, you know, Joe Burns heads into this week on a 4-game losing streak, looking to right the ship. You know, I just wonder where that team his headspace is at. You know, Justin Robinson has said that team believes, and they have bought into the message that he is sending, and they believe in each other in the program. So just looking to see if they can just right the ship. It's going to be a really tough game this week at Clay County against a really talented opponent. But, you know, they're going to make the playoffs, so there's no need to hit the panic button in the sense that they're not going to make it. It's just, can they win games down the stretch in region play and then prepare themselves for a playoff run? That's something that we'll look out for Joe Burns.
Looking at the happier side of a matchup we talked about a little bit ago, White House defeated Greenbrier 30-10 on Friday night. Our White House High School football segment is brought to you by Springfield Carpet One in Springfield. Whether you are in need of new hardwood, luxury vinyl, tile, carpet, or laminate, Springfield Carpet One has everything you need for your next flooring project. Stop by their showroom or give them a call at 615-382-7190. White House picked up their 7th straight win over Greenbrier on Friday. How were the Blue Devils able to pick up the win?
Yeah, 7th straight win over Greenbrier, as you mentioned. That's 54 out of 81 games of this series, of this matchup. One of the longest running rivals, rather, in the mid-state. Just two storied programs, two teams that simply do not like each other. I know I've mentioned that several times, but a great atmosphere out. Greenbrier, Ken Hernan had the great photos, phenomenal photos. So I hope you guys enjoy those. But White House, making the jump to Class 4A this year, and they've impressed in the schedule that they've had so far. Michael Albin has continued to impress. The junior running back had 3 total touchdowns this past week at Greenbrier, 2 coming on the ground, had 141 yards rushing on 19 carries, then had a kickoff return for a touchdown that really kind of kicked this game into gear for the Blue Devils. Greenbrier was leading this game early, 10-6, and then White House comes back and scores 24 unanswered points to win this football game. So Kenny Holt, Michael Albin on the offensive side of the ball continued to play well. Kenny Holt had 3 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown reception from quarterback Tanner Hayes. And then defensively, White House has been steady all year long on the defensive side of the football. Benjamin Stanley had 5 tackles this week and a sack, 2 tackles for loss. Jackson O'Rourke had 9 tackles and a pass breakup. So White House, we've mentioned it time and time again that they want to run the football in the I formation. They want to smash you in the mouth. They want to play old school football. What you saw in the early 2000s, late 90s, and the 80s, ever since football was invented, people like to play football in the phone booth. That was old school football. And Ryan Hamilton's group does that. They like to do that and impose their will on both sides of the football. They're going to run the ball on the offensive side, hit you with the play action pass when you bring your defenders in the box, and then they're going to play steady defense. Their defense has really performed well for the entire year. Take out the second half versus Liberty Creek, and we'll take out the Marshall County game, where they got punched in the mouth themselves. White House has played great defense all year long. So they've surprised. I don't know if they surprised. I'll take that back. They've really impressed, we'll say, in Region 5-4A. They currently sit in 3rd place, looking up at Marshall County, who they already lost to. And Pro-Cone, the Firebirds, are just firing on all cylinders. And so we'll get a matchup between Pro-Cone and White House a little later on. But, they've been great so far under Ryan Hamilton, 5-1, looking to make it 6-1 this week when they welcome in Station Camp. And we'll talk about that a little later on, Brady.
Yeah, so let's take our second break of the show. When we come back, going to preview some of the matches coming up this week. Stick around.
Whether you've set personal goals or are just making your health and well-being a priority, Select Physical Therapy is here for you. Select Physical Therapy is your trusted physical therapy partner for recovering from aches and pains, gaining strength, and preventing injury. There's no better time to make Select Physical Therapy's movement experts part of your healthcare team. To learn more about the benefits of physical therapy and get on the road to recovery and wellness, schedule an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy today.
If you're in the market for new equipment, come to Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment in Springfield. We are your one-stop shop for all of your outdoor projects and needs. We have a large selection of Echo Power equipment and a full line of bad boy mowers and tractors. We also have a broad inventory of outdoor storage buildings and provide maintenance and small engine repair on most equipment. We also carry a large line of mower engines and parts. For great financing options, stop by Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment today.
If you're in need of new flooring, look no further than Springfield Carpet One Floor and Home, your local personal assistant when it comes to flooring. We offer a wide range of options, from hardwood to luxury vinyl, carpet to laminate and tile. Our showroom is designed to make your search for the perfect flooring simpler, and our expert team is always on hand to help every step of the way. With our financing options, you can buy now and pay over time. Stop by today or visit our website at carpet1springfield.com. At Old Hickory Credit Union, we're member-owned, not-for-profit, and eager to serve our Robertson County community. Since 1934, we have strived to provide our members with a safe, reliable place to take care of all their financial needs. From checking accounts to loans to mortgages, we're here to help. Credit unions have to constantly adapt to meet the needs of an ever-changing market. However, one constant will always remain, and that is the service we provide to our members. Stop by our Greenbrier branch today. Thomas Drugs, serving our community since the early 1900s. We're a full-service drugstore and soda fountain located in a building on Main Street that is on the National Register of Historic Places. We have a staff of pharmacists with over 70 years of experience, and we are committed to offering the best care and service to our community. We're now offering healthcare testing and treatment with positive results, a one-stop shop. Stop by our pharmacy today or visit our website at thomasdrugs.net.
Welcome back to the Robertson County Football Wrap-Up Show. I'm Brady McTamney, sports editor, Main Street, Clarksville. That's your guy, David Wilson, sports reporter at the Robertson County Connection. David, let's jump right into it. Let's give us some previews for this week.
Yeah, Brady, week 7 is already here. It's crazy how fast it has gone by. Let's start off with East Robertson. We mentioned them earlier, how they need to bounce back this week. This is the crossroads of their season. Yes, they've been great so far, but coming off a loss last week at home to Smith County in the MyTV 30 game of the week, was really billed as one of the best games in Class 2A this year. How do they respond after the loss? I know a lot of eyes in the mid-state are on this game at Westmoreland. So if East Robertson doesn't come prepared, they could find themselves with 2 straight losses, and then who knows what happens to their season. I look forward to seeing them. I think they're going to win this game and bounce back. They're going to be an angry football team. Cason Young is going to right the mistakes that he made last week. He had 3 interceptions last week, and that was really uncharacteristic of how he's played so far. The freshman quarterback has been phenomenal for them. Hasn't had to do too much, but he's shown playmaking ability. I just wonder last week if the bright lights had maybe got to him. What he's due for a bounce back this week. Look for the East Robinson to continue to run the football with Isaiah Groves. Look for Elijah Groves to make some plays on the outside. Terry McCormick of Main Street Media will have you covered for that matchup between East Robertson at Westmoreland. Moving forward, Joe Burns going on the road to play the defending state runner-ups Clay County. A region matchup right there. So can Joe Burns get off the schneid? 4-game losing streak for the Red Devils, looking to pick up a major win, a road upset over Clay County. Looking forward to that matchup and seeing what the Red Devils can do on the road. Meanwhile, Springfield, coming off a big victory last week in region play over Portland, put themselves in position right now to make the TLSI playoffs. They can pick up another region win this week and really boost, solidify their chances and boost them moving forward as they welcome in the Hendersonville Commandos. Hendersonville coming off a tough loss to their rival Beach last week. So losing the Mayor's Cup, Hendersonville will be an angry team as well, a pissed off team heading into this week's matchup with Springfield. But Springfield can really boost their chances moving forward this week. Hendersonville coming in there at 4-2, Springfield at 3-3. Meanwhile, White House 5-1, taking on the Station Camp Bison. I talked to Blaine Keller, who covers Station Camp, and he said do not sleep on the Bison in this game despite the record. Station Camp's been really banged up this year, but they've played quality football at times. And according to Blaine, I'll say, if they would have played White House's schedule, we would be talking about Station Camp in a different light. So I don't know if that's a shot at White House. Surely Blaine would never do that. But he's saying this game is going to be really tight, and this game is going to be really close. And so I see it going White House's way. I just haven't seen enough from Station Camp this point this year. But don't be surprised if this game is close in the second half. So look, upset alert maybe for White House and the Blue Devils as they return home, looking to make it 6-1 this week. And then finally, the game I will be at, it'll be the game of the week in Robertson County this week. Greenbrier going on the road to face Robertson County School White House Heritage, a matchup I'm really looking forward to. We'll see what the storyline is and the quarterback situation is for Greenbrier. Will it be Nolan Carson coming back off of injury, or will it be Travaris Flood in the duty back there behind center for the Bobcats? And then finally, just looking forward to seeing what White House Heritage can do. Finally got the monkey off their back last week, got off the schneid on the road, picked up their first road win last week over Sycamore. Can they bounce back this week and replicate it at home and continue the positive momentum that they've started? They're 4-2 on the year, looking to make it 5-2 this week. So those are the matchups in Robertson County this week. We'll go to our final commercial break, and then I'll announce my Player of the Week award right after this.
If you're in need of new flooring, look no further than Springfield Carpet One Floor and Home, your local personal assistant when it comes to flooring. We offer a wide range of options, from hardwood to luxury vinyl, carpet to laminate and tile. Our showroom is designed to make your search for the perfect flooring simpler, and our expert team is always on hand to help every step of the way. With our financing options, you can buy now and pay over time. Stop by today or visit our website at carpet1springfield.com.
Watch it! Did that guy even see that girl on her bike?
Just like looking for other cars before switching lanes, drivers should keep their eyes out for those traveling on bikes. When a crash occurs between a vehicle and a bike, it's the cyclist who is most likely to be injured. Give cyclists room and do not pass too closely. Riders have the same rights and responsibilities as those behind the wheel.
Be aware, be alert. Brought to you by THSO, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Whether you've set personal goals or are just making your health and well-being a priority, Select Physical Therapy is here for you. Select Physical Therapy is your trusted physical therapy partner for recovering from aches and pains, gaining strength, and preventing injury. There's no better time to make Select Physical Therapy's movement experts part of your healthcare team. To learn more about the benefits of physical therapy and get on the road to recovery and wellness, schedule an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy today.
If you're in the market for new equipment, come to Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment in Springfield. We are your one-stop shop for all of your outdoor projects and needs. We have a large selection of Echo Power equipment and a full line of bad boy mowers and tractors. We also have a broad inventory of outdoor storage buildings and provide maintenance and small engine repair on most equipment. We also carry a large line of mower engines and parts. For great financing options, stop by Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment today.
Welcome back to the Robertson County Football Wrap-Up Show. We got one more thing to bring to you guys. David Wilson is going to tell you his player of the week. David, let's get right into it.
Yeah, this is the part of the show that people really look forward to seeing. They tune in for this part, not all the analysis that I give. So looking forward to giving this award. And it's a guy who has won Main Street Media's Player of the Week before. He's been a one-time Robertson County Player of the Week as well. Our Week 6 Robertson County Player of the Week award goes to Springfield's Clarence Cobbins. Congratulations to that young man on the Yellow Jackets, who's a two-way star that's done it in all three phases this year. And then this past week, he dominated once again. 3 catches for 73 yards and 2 touchdowns on offense. He also had 5 carries, 29 yards, and 1 touchdown. 2 returns in the kicking game for 92 yards, and even had 2 tackles on defense in the Yellow Jackets' 35-0 shutout win over Portland that really put them in position to make the playoffs this year. So congratulations to Clarence Cobbins of Springfield and head coach Dustin Wilson. He wins our Robertson County Player of the Week award here in Week 6. That'll do it for this week's edition of the Robertson County Football Show. For Brady McIntyre, I am David Wilson. We look forward to seeing you guys in the field this week. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you next time.
You've been watching the Robertson County High School Football Show with Robertson County Connection sports reporter David Wilson and Main Street Clarksville sports editor Brady McIntyre. Read this week's Robertson County Connection for all the latest news about Robertson County High School sports. The Robertson County High School Football Show has been brought to you by Springfield Carpet One, Thomas Drugs, Old Hickory Credit Union, Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment, Select Physical Therapy in Springfield, and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Join us each week at this time on Main Street Media TV to get the latest on Robertson County football.